Hi there, Jan Copeland back with you with another awesome lady who has been utilizing virtual appointments even before this crazy time of coronavirus. So today I'm with Erin Ward. Erin is in Virginia Beach with Keller Williams. Hi, Erin.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for just taking a couple minutes out of your day. So I know you've been a realtor for 4 years. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about how you had been using virtual appointments even before the coronavirus?
Yeah, sure. So in my area in Virginia Beach and Norfolk, we're the largest contingent of active duty military in the United States. So just in that alone, we've had to do a lot of sight unseen work with our buyers. So we immediately, had noticed that our buyers were either overseas or in different areas, maybe coming from San Diego. So we started with virtual buyer consultations. And we built an entire system and process around it to kind of really hone in on that virtual aspect, but still making it very personal. So from the very, very first touch, we include a lot of video. So we utilize a lot of video emails, a lot of one-on-one, very personal stuff. So it's not real cold feeling,
Yeah.
because that kind of just takes the whole thing away right there. And we do the same thing for our listing appointments, because again, a lot of our folks don't live here anymore.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're at the beach, so we have a lot of folks with vacation homes. And
Yeah.
so when we work with them on listing appointments, it's the same concept. We have to make it really, really personal,
Love
even
it.
in a virtual environment. And so we've really focused in on that. That's so important for us.
Well, I love how you brought up the fact that it does have to be personal. We're not like robotic, even though it's using kind of high tech. I mean, even like as you and I are recording this on Zoom, it's neat because I feel like I know you now, right?
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
see you, around on Facebook, but it's neat to be able to do this. So when you talk about the process that you use, so let's say somebody got in touch with you about buying in Virginia Beach and they're being, I know now this wouldn't take place, but they're going to be coming there. I know everybody's on hold with the military, but let's just say it was a normal day as it's been, and somebody would contact you and say, hey, I'm moving to Virginia Beach. Talk to us about how you would introduce the idea of a virtual meeting and a little bit of that process.
Yeah, so as much as possible, first, we always still want to make it to that first contact to be a phone call, right? As much as possible. If not, and again, it's such a high-tech world. Outside of this, what we have going on now, we've had text messages, we've sent video texts and those kinds of things. But the first phone call is where we kind of set them up to know what to expect. And in that first phone call, we talk about, this is our first phone call, but we're not giving them all the information because we want to get them on the Zoom call with us. We've been using Zoom for this for years. So we've been wanting to get them on the Zoom call. So we don't give them all the information up front. And we talk about how important it is for them to see me, feel like they're connected with me, because we want them to know, I mean, they're still interviewing us 95% of the time at that point, because at any point they can go choose another agent, right? But we want to really make them feel connected, and we want to know that we're the right agent for them. So we talk about that on that first phone call, and then the importance of getting on that Zoom with us. So when we hang up that first phone call, immediately after, I'm filming like a bomb email that goes out. So that's their first introduction to me face to face, right? Unless they've seen some of our videos on social media and things like that. But they're already getting that taste of what to expect, who I am, my personality a little bit, right? Hopefully I'm showing that in video.
Exactly.
And so that it just kind of goes from there. So when we're on the phone, we're scheduling that first Zoom call, and then we're sending out the bomb video with our calendar link, right? So that they can go in, make sure it gets on their calendar. Following it up with a informal video that talks a fun video. It's kind of like a cartoon video that talks about, here's what we're going to talk about on your Zoom call, and just kind of keep it going with them. And it's a great time to make sure that all the parties are on the Zoom call.
Yes.
Too. So that's super important too.
Well, I just love what you just said. I especially like how you're saying that you really are following up, because the fortune's in the follow-up.
Right.
So the fact that we always want to get the appointment, right?
Yeah.
I always used to say, get face-to-face. Hey, we're still face-to-face, you and I, right here on a Zoom as we're recording this. So I love that. and that you are utilizing the calendar. And I think more agents really need to get that up, that increases or ups your level of professionalism, both for yourself to feel like, okay, it's not like, hold on, let me check my calendar. And for the person that's receiving the calendar, they're impressed. Because I'd have to say 95% of agents and brokers are not utilizing a calendar. So I think that's amazing.
Well,
So,
and Jan, I think that comes to systems, right? So if
right.
we have a system built around this, it's very easy to kind of knock out and make that, now it's a no-brainer to me. Like, so everybody on our team, it just kind of flows. It just happens.
It's perfect. It's amazing. So then now you facilitate that appointment, for lack of a better word, the first virtual appointment. And then from there, what do you do next? Like what had been your steps before all this?
Yeah, so we utilize virtual showings quite a bit, right? So, you know, so we would go out, obviously we'll do our MLS list and set them up with a great MLS search. I always talk about, like, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you hate my search that I set up with you. It's not my house. So tell me so we can fix it, especially because we're not here seeing it. I ask them to send me the stuff that they're finding on those other websites that we don't want to name, right? Because that kind of gives me an idea of what they're going for. We whittle that search down. And then when we get about 5 or 6 houses, as they're getting ready to visit the area, when they were visiting the area, and we still do have people coming in to our Hampton Roads area. But as they're getting ready to visit the area, what we're doing is doing the virtual tours right away. And so that just is a 360 camera that we've picked up and my cell phone, right? So I do have to, you know, it's a hardship, but make sure I have a good cell phone, right?
Yeah.
So it does allow me to upgrade quite often if I need to. But we're taking that cell phone, and for me, this goes beyond a Matterport, right? Because I'm in the house, I'm telling you, does the house smell bad?
Yeah.
Right? Is there texture on the walls, right? When I first moved to Virginia, we have those rosettes in every dining room, in my dining room. You know, so I'm talking about all these things that they don't get from Matterport.
Right.
And so it is an absolute virtual showing at that point. It is just as if they were in here with me, and we're doing it live quite frequently so that they can communicate with me and say, hey, Erin, can you go back? This just happened yesterday. Hey, Erin, can you go back and look at that kitchen again? Because we missed, you know, is there a lazy Susan in the kitchen cabinet?
Yeah.
So those kind of things that come up, which are so great, but I'm pointing out, hey, there's some damage on the wood floors, or all those things that are important for them to know that they would see. I think that's where we're going beyond just the Matterports.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Because Matterport is one thing, but what the human eye can see is another. So have you found, I know this is where, I guess we're starting the second week of this. Have you found that, or do you think it's going in the route of the onus is on the listing agent to provide you with stuff? So let's just say you weren't comfortable going somewhere, okay, and showing a house. You know, people are living there, you're not comfortable for health, you know, safety reasons.
Sure.
Do you feel that it's on the part of the listing agent who should be able to provide you in that capacity as a buyer's agent with a video, with more detailed pictures or something? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think even as a listing agent myself, I think it's important. It's my duty, right? To shift my focus and my marketing and what I'm providing to the general public, agents included, to get that home sold in this market. And so if that includes me doing these same things, which, by the way, I do those for my listings anyway, but if I hadn't been, I think absolutely it's my job to get that house sold. So I'm going to do whatever it takes, even in these, you know, crazy times right now. And if people aren't doing that before, they definitely need to do that now. I think the shift's going to be, do we talk about every nick on the floor and things like that as a listing agent? Probably not, right? But I definitely think, I mean, again, I think Matterport's important, but I think, again, having the ability to say, here's this video buyer's agent that I walked through, I talked them through, I showed them the flow. We really talked about spatial awareness, right? Because I always talk about, like, hey, there's elbow room here in this upstairs hallway. You know, things like that, I think also would allow me to sell my listing faster. And actually, we used it this weekend on a listing and got it under contract.
That's awesome.
So there is value to it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, what would you say to someone who hates video
Mhm.
and they don't know anything about Zoom or anything about this? What would your, maybe one or two pieces of advice be?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Like, so video is not like my favorite thing. I'm highly critical of myself, right? So social media has like, influencers and stuff. I'm always like, oh, my hair's a mess and the grays are popping up. This whole thing is going to make it worse, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I flipped it so you couldn't see it. But here's the deal. Nobody's thinking about you. Just pull your phone out. Like, honestly, when you watch a video, are you thinking or criticizing the person doing that video? No, you're watching the video. Just pull your phone out. I don't think you need to get fancy. I think now we are in an industry where I think we're seeing more community over competition, where people will help you learn how
Yeah.
to use Zoom, how to use your phone to get these videos, and just do it, because you don't have an option right now,
That's
right? We want to stay in business, and that's what I think, Jan, we've all been talking about. The people who adapt are the ones who are going to be here in the end, and I'm hoping everybody adapts.
That's right. And you weren't there, but I was an active agent when '08
Mm-hmm.
when
I
you
was
woke
I was an agent's assistant.
up.
Right.
Okay, so you knew what
Yeah.
it was kind of like, because we woke up and we all were like 40, 50, $60,000 plus in upside down, right?
Yeah.
And so I would say in my market, where we had about 3,200 agents, I was in Winchester, Virginia, I would say about half were gone,
Mm-hmm.
like in months. They just were like, I'm done, I'm out of
Yeah.
here. And I sadly think that that's what's going to happen, but that's what separates the men from the boys and the queens from, I don't even know what to say, the ladies, the women from the
Yeah.
girls, because those of us who adapt and excitedly adapt are going to be here for the long haul. So, Erin, thank you so much. And if anybody wants to follow her, we always want followers. You can follow her at HRVA Homes on Instagram, and it's Erin, EIRN. So thank you, Erin, so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
Stay safe.
You too.
Thanks.